riot just broke out, and police were shooting, fired tear gas, which we went through, which is burning my eyes and my lungs.
Hopefully that's the last roadblock before the airport. So we came across a roadblock where there was a couple of hundred angry people and army on the other side.
But it broke out. They started throwing rocks, then the police were shooting back.
They were getting very angry at the Mzungus in the car, but we gave them 500 francs and they were a lot happier. 50 cents.
Man, getting out of this place has been hell. Hello, Nairobi.
It's Nairobi, country.
Nairobi City.
Kenya. We're in Kenya.
We're doing it. This is my friend Garnet and I, and after retracing Che Guevara's motorcycle diaries across Latin America, we're off to test our limits in Central Africa. Ignoring government warnings, we're following British explorer Henry Morton Stanley across modern-day Tanzania, Rwanda, and the war-torn Democratic Republic of the Congo. Famous for uttering the words Dr. Livingstone, I presume, Stanley became the first person to navigate the Congo River, opening it up to European exploitation and fueling a booming world economy.
Good view of Mount Kilimanjaro.
Like Stanley, we started our adventure in Zanzibar off the coast of Africa. When Stanley arrived in Zanzibar in 1874, one of the world's last slave markets had been shut down by the British just a year earlier. So we're here inside one of the holding cells for the slaves before the slaves went to the market, and they had 50 people actually would stay in this little area.
This is where they were whipped, up on that altar, which wasn't an altar, it was probably just an open space.
The more of a beating they could take, the more money they got from for the trade.
If they started crying, they didn't get much. Dr. Livingstone was a bit of a good guy, even though he brought the church to this country. He did bring some moral value as well, and he tried to have I guess he did have the slave trade abolished eventually.
There's actually a cross back there which is made of the tree where he died under.
It's a Muslim country, you might be able to tell by what the women are wearing. Not revealing too much. The bicycle and scooter are the only way through these streets. No room for cars. There's still room to get run over by a scooter. This is, you can't see it, but we might cut to a close-up, a picture of Freddie Mercury, who was actually born in Zanzibar.
They've described him as the flamboyant lead singer of Queen, which I think is a fairly accurate description.
Yeah.
Very flamboyant. No, thank you.
That is nice. I'm loving this place, how about you?
Yeah, it's great. Zanzibar is unlike the mainland. Ruled by a sultan during Stanley's stay, it has been under European influence for over half a millennium. We're actually in the Africa House Hotel, which is where Stanley and before him Dr. Livingstone used to come and have a gin and tonic, something not exactly appropriate for Ramadan as it is now, but...
Pete managed to sink a couple earlier.
Just one. I'm being good this trip.
Yeah, we're in Zanzibar, it's an awesome place. It sounds as good as it is. I mean, it's kind of this little oasis, isn't it?
We're here in Nungwi, which is at the very northern tip of the island of Zanzibar. It's a bit of a strange place in my mind for us to end up being before the trip that we're going on, to have this last moment in paradise before we find ourselves in some pretty difficult situations.
It's extremely sunny. We're burning a little bit more than normal because of this malaria tablets that we're taking, but not too bad.
Ah, I forgot about that.
Fortunately, there's an ozone layer here.
We loved every second of our brief stay here, and I even managed to fit in a sneaky scuba dive.
The drive between the resort and Zanzibar City was a constant running the gauntlet of corrupt cops, the camera rolling and microphone on.
Hello.
Hello, how are
How
you?
are you?
Good, thank you.
Are you okay?
Excellent.
Why you do not close your seat belt?
Just
In Australia, if you don't close a belt, how much you pay?
it's probably 70 Australian dollars.
70 Australian, okay.
So just got extorted by the police for the first time. It's the fourth time we've been pulled over so far on this little trip in Zanzibar.
We're back in Zanzibar, about to get on the boat to get to Dar es Salaam. I don't feel so good. This boat's been going up and down for 2 hours. I've already filled up one vomit bag, getting ready to make some more.
What's hilarious is I love boat travel, so it's not bothering me at all. I love the bumpy. We reached the African continent proper in Tanzania's major city and tracked down a local contact. Chuffle. So we've arrived in the city of Dar es Salaam.
We're going in a taxi and we have no idea exactly what's going on. Oh, they've got a DVD shop. Here we are in Dar es Salaam.
Got into port and I had a contact through couch surfing of someone who was going to look after us. Ended up going around in circles until we found ourselves in one of these cars driving down this street, having literally no idea where we're going.
Today felt really sketchy, but this is like probably the least problematic part of our trip still.
Ghana was all scared when we came driving in here, and he was even scared to go out and film, but
Yeah.
after 5 minutes out there filming, we realised everything's relaxed. One of the things I've been looking forward to on this trip is coming here to the New Zahir restaurant where Che Guevara used to eat. Unfortunately, it's shut for Ramadan, so I'm going to miss out.
Say cheers.
Cheese!
Australia.
How much did you get?
The maximum.
How much was that?
400,000 shillings.
We're here at the ATM machine in Dar es Salaam. Just got out 1.2 million shillings. Sounds like a lot. $1,000 bucks. Not much.
Well, it's still enough to get into trouble here. Still enough definitely to get you into trouble.
Let's get into trouble then.
So this is my hood, eh?
Yeah.
For last census, we have like 8 million people.
So you're good at reproducing.
Yeah, actually, yes.
What does Peter want to do for his birthday?
I have a feeling I'll celebrate it when I get back.
Come on, we can do something today.
Yeah?
Like what? Usually I'd
Can
have
you
a
organise
drink.
some local girls for Peter?
Yeah, I can, for sure. Keki tule, kata keki tule,
Dear Peter.
kata keki tule. Ah, kakapita.
Native Brother Enterprises.
Yeah,
Excellent.
This lady's selling breakfast.
everything is there. If you stay in the big hotel, you'll never know about Tanzania. And I'm a bit sad because people, they come to visit Tanzania, they come to Africa, they go to the 5-star hotel, and they go back home and speak about the country, speak about Africa. You know nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know nothing.
So do you think that Africans actually have a better understanding of what it takes to live a happy life or a joyful life?
I think so. Our grandparents, they were living in the bushes, but they were living without stressing, just living normal life.
Our time in Dar es Salaam is just about coming to an end. Unfortunately, we've been taken on a bit of a city tour with Mariki and his colleagues, and we've been able to see some things that a lot of tourists would never get to see.
You know Mswangalala?
No. Crabs?
Crabs Mswangalala.
Swangalala?
Yeah.
In Swahili.
Ah.
In Swahili say Swangarara.
Swangalala.
We're just on our way to the bus stop in Dar es Salaam to catch a bus to Arusha, up north, which apparently takes 10 hours.
9, 10 hours plus who knows.
Who knows? Come on now. I'm gonna go walk through the craziest bus station in the whole world. Let's see how we go. Wish me luck. Let's hope I can find the bus again. How much this one? 1,000? They made it with some treats.
Like Stanley, we were making our way to Lake Victoria, but first heading through a couple of World Heritage sites. From Arusha, we're not far from Kilimanjaro, but also where we're going to head off into Ngorongoro Crater and Serengeti.
Check out the Maasai. Teach them some dance moves.
No, I think they just jump.
Monkey.
After booking our trip, we joined our guide for dinner.
We want to pay you for the drugs now because we don't like to keep all the money.
Is a lot of money.
The long and short of it is that to book our tour, it was nearly 3 million shillings. So I just had to go and get this out of the ATM.
This is crazy. Here you go.
Thank you.
$1,300 US
Yes,
for what we imagine will be the 3 best days of our lives.
it's going to be excellent.
Here we are at the entrance of the Ngorongoro National Park.
On the way up, I was like, are we going to see monkeys? And they're like, what? They just couldn't understand what I was saying. Now I know why, because there are monkeys everywhere. There's a baby monkey. So cute.
One of them just let rip. Well, we're finally putting this 4-wheel drive to some good use. Hit the first dirt road we've seen in this trip so far. It's really quite jungle here. It's like vines and trees. And feels a little Tarzan-esque. This is our driver, Frank. He's doing a great job keeping us safe on these bumpy roads.
Yeah, bumping road, massage road, African road.
Yeah.
Maasai for gift of life, Ngorongoro is famous for its crater, the world's largest intact volcanic caldera, and now home to the highest density of big game in Africa. We do our daily backup of everything we've got onto multiple hard drives. Thank you, our executive producer, for getting these for us. The power sorted out by Australia-wide Solar, Richard Keatley. The computer from Asus. So we're going through and just making sure that we don't lose any of our vision, because that would be upsetting, particularly after today, where it was just awesome.
We're here at our base camp in Ngorongoro National Park, up on the crater rim. It's pretty cold and there's not much to see. There's a blanket of white fog outside.
The Bersi Jumba is the Bersi to get more women.
So how many women would I have got from my jumping?
I don't know if they choose you.
How many wives do you have?
Now I have one and I wish to get another one. It depends on how many cows do you have.
How many cows per wife?
It was 15, but now 10 to 6 cows.
You've ever had a lion or a hyena come
Yeah,
near
of
your
course,
cattle?
many times. Yesterday we had a leopard there.
A leopard just on the hill?
Yeah, killing 2 goats. So we found one already finished and another one, we found some parts is No, we just take out and the leopard ran away. We didn't find it. So this is a nursery school
Yeah.
where the kids now start to learn on how to read and writing.
So in this village, only one man.
Yes,
Wow. And how many wives he has?
24,
24 wives. And children?
100 children.
Maybe 100 children.
Yes.
All the children you see in this village
Yes.
are from one man. It's like a lion.
Yeah.
His pride.
Yeah.
Well, lots of work though.
Of course.
I must say it is pretty nice having people chaperone us around and cook us dinner and
I know,
make our tents. It's starting to sound a lot like white privilege.
Yeah.
Well, it's our second day of safari here. Yesterday we saw Ngorongoro, today we're in the Serengeti. It's a massive plane, it's quite a bit different to yesterday's safari. Got the roof open, we're popping up every now and then to get some good shots of some animals we haven't seen yet.
The baby's right in there.
It's our last day of safari. Came across a rather large group of zebras.
They don't realise it yet, but there's some lions not too far away.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is it, the scene of the kill.
Let's go check out Carcass. I guess that's what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, that's why there's like 12 cars ahead of us. Mind you, it's actually not that many considering how awesome this is.
Oop, it's on the move.
Oh, the lion's smiling. Zebra? No. Nobody told me there'd be days like these. What a way to go, said Sammy. It's our final day here, and our tour guide Frank has brought out the big guns this morning with the lions and the hippos now. They're quite playful this time of the day.
Yeah, there's got to be 50 of them.
There's certainly a lot of hippo poo around.
Oh, it's on.
Maybe we should film
Yeah.
this.
We'll be back.
They don't look like it, but these are the most dangerous animals in Africa. You'd never guess that that could outrun you back to the car.
No.
They just look like fat, lazy bastards.
Our safari days are coming to an end.
We're just driving back to our campsite now. Get some breakfast prepared by our awesome chef DVD.
Very good. It's like a rice curry. It's like a maize flour cake, rice with seasoning, and a vegetable curry.
Okay, so we've just gotten on the bus from the Serengeti to Bunda, and it's rather full, but at least we're traveling the way the locals do. We've got Maasai warriors on this bus. We've got every shape and form of person, I think, on this bus.
And now 2 Australians.
I guess we better get used to this type of travel, hey? I've got a feeling there's going to be plenty more of it.
So I just went over a big bump that sent my skull into this sharp corner, and it's gashed open my head and there's sent blood everywhere. So now going to stop at the hospital in the next town and see if we can get it closed up.
So we've had our first international incident. Pete's been speared in the head by
Everyone
a
was
Maasai
very
warrior.
nice about it though.
Actually, he was assaulted by the bus.
A very nasty bump sent me into the...
He has about a 10
Into a
centimetre
railing.
gash, about 1 centimetre wide in his forehead. Looks like he has a bit of a black eye. He's still conscious though, so that's a plus.
Definitely a plus.
It's not that much big. Not that much big.
I've just been trying to film Pete get his stitches, but it's actually making me feel quite sick. I'm about to vomit. He's handling this a lot better than me.
I feel like a beer. I said I feel like a beer.
It's very painful.
Yeah.
I think I feel more sick than you, Pete.
Yeah.
Might need another one of those vomit bags.
You don't even like sleeping without a comfy pillow. You getting this? It's all good?
Yeah.
So they're very active with bleeding, see?
Yeah. I can feel it bleeding.
I haven't seen it yet, so we'll see what job I guess you call him a doctor, has done. On the upside, it only costs 15,000 shillings, which is less than $10 Australian.
This is a far superior bus. The colour scheme is much nicer.
So I'll have a little memento of our trip from the Serengeti to Lake Victoria. So that's something. Charting Lake Victoria was the first objective of Stanley's journey.
We're just in Mwanza at the moment, getting a tour of the town with Frank. Pete's a bit dazed and confused today. He's taking a big whack to the head. And I've got a hot date tonight with a local girl, Nema. This one has a baby. Poor girl, she's 23. She had a baby with some guy who didn't really care. So she obviously doesn't practice safe sex, which makes you really worried in a country where the HIV count is 25% of the population. It's crazy. Apparently in South Africa it's 40%. Better check those facts, but it's rather staggeringly high.
Alrighty, well we've made it to Mwanza. We're on the shores of Lake Victoria. I've been a little out of sorts, to be honest, since I've knocked my head, and that's just one example of it. Yeah, I'm a bit all over the place. The worst thing is that's going to make the cut. The bleeding seems to have stopped. Once I get back to the hotel and I'm out of the dirt and the wind, I'm going to unwrap this, have a bit of a Darjeeling Limited unveil and see what the scars are like, see what the damage is. Even the lady behind me, when the blood started oozing, gushing, she just took off her scarf and held it up against my head. So she took a lot of the biohazard.
Okay, my name is Frank D. Chiguno.
And the last name?
The last name Deus.
Like God?
Yeah.
Frank God. And how is life in Mwanza for you?
Very fantastic.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Okay, because here in Mwanza, we can get many products by cheap price. Yeah, because we are in middle. Because when you go right side, you go to another country, it's called Kampala. My back side, Rwanda. Here, Kenya. Yeah, I'll find for you one girlfriend here in Mwanza. Do you want?
You can find me a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Beautiful one?
They're beautiful.
Expensive?
Not expensive. Are you a Christian?
Church? Tomorrow is Sunday.
Yeah.
You want to go to church?
Yeah. Can we go?
Are you a Christian?
Yes. What about you?
Not much. Religion is not so important in Australia.
Okay.
I think here religion is important.
Yeah. Even this month is for Ramadan.
Anything else you want to tell the people in Australia?
I love them, and I want them to visit here in Mwanza.
Okay, here's the unveiling of the scar. Ugh, I can feel all the crusted blood. So there it is, my new scar.
You seem a little bit shy.
Yeah.
Just pretend the cameras aren't there.
Oh, good.
So tell me about your life.
My life is very painful though.
Painful?
Yeah.
Why? What happened?
I lost my parents, my biological parents.
How old were you when you lost your mum?
I lost my mom when I was 9 years old.
Wow.
My dad remarried again. Me and my sisters, we've been living with relatives most of our lives. So we used to struggle, sell things in the market for us to go to school.
That sounds like a hard life.
Very hard.
Was it hard or was it fun?
It was hard and it was fun also.
Yeah.
Because I made so many friends on the street.
Yeah. You think everyone has to work hard in Africa?
Yes. If you don't work, how will you survive in
There's
Africa?
no easy life here, is there?
No.
Nema told me that she was currently pregnant to one of 2 guys that had raped her and her sister 4 months earlier. They believe the attacks happened because her sister rejected a guy, and he sent around the rapist to take revenge.
We're off to Rwanda tomorrow, to Kigali, then trying our luck to enter the Congo via Goma.
Sounds pretty sketchy, doesn't it?
So we'll see what happens. We're going to basically knock on the door of the Congo at Goma, one of the most dangerous cities in the world, and say, hey, why don't you let us in?
What could possibly go wrong?
Possibly go wrong.
It's 5:30 a.m. Just getting on the bus, getting on the ferry, going to Ngara on the border of Rwanda. First we got a little ferry ride, then we got a long bus ride.
With all the borders into the Congo shut to tourists just weeks earlier, we had to deviate from Stanley's route to try our luck via Rwanda.
It's an early rise today before the sun got up, 5 a.m. We're on the bus for a few hours now. It gets in at about 1, but you can never be too sure about these things.
We're 20 kilometres from the Rwandan border now. We've just got off a 7-hour bus ride, and this is what we have left. And as you can see, it's nice and packed in the back here, packed in the front.
I think we can get more in.
I think we can. Can we get?
There's got to be room for a couple of clowns in here. There was 7 of us in the car with all our luggage. 4 in the back, 2 in the front, and the driver. And a little sedan.
I'm here in no man's land in between Tanzania and Rwanda. At this spot in 1994, 200,000 people fled the genocide into Tanzania in one day. It's the biggest exodus internationally in human history. We've made it out of Tanzania, which probably marks the first real milestone on our journey, quarter of the way through. Now we've got the most dangerous quarter ahead, going through Rwanda to get into Goma and the Congo.
Actually, Rwanda, even though it sounds bad because of the genocide, is apparently quite a lovely place now.
Several hours late, we arrived in Kigali as night fell.
On our way to the Congo embassy, take 2, see if we can't get a visa.
It's not possible to get the visa here in Rwanda. However, at the border, while it may be expensive, we should be able to get it, no worries. There's actually 250,000 people buried just behind us here, and that's just a fraction of the people that died in 1994. It's, to be honest with you, really sobering.
It wasn't just they were killing them, they were torturing them. They'd make the children kill their parents and then kill them, cutting off arms, limbs, clubbing people. Just horrible stuff.
Believe it or not, the trip from Kigali to the border here in Gisenyi was just nice and smooth.
Be very surprised if we can get into the Congo today, but perhaps the old greenback will help us over. So you're getting into the spirit of things, Pete?
They're telling us it's impossible again, but we were told in Kigali yesterday that we could get a visa here with a little bit of grease.
I don't think they're going to let us leave somehow.
We've made it to the, I guess, the true border, and they wouldn't let us leave Rwanda because we don't have an exit stamp. He's now taught us to go to the other barrier.
Amazingly, they let Pete go to the embassy across the way with our passports, as long as I waited here.
They're saying that you just cannot buy the visa at the border anymore, even though we told yesterday in Kigali that you could. So, yeah, it's all a bit up in the air right now. On the upside, our delay kept us in a part of paradise we never knew existed or planned to see. So here in Rwanda on the shores of Lake Kivu at a hot spring, feeling a little awkward getting a massage. Feel like one of those colonialists that just kind of take advantage of the wealth difference.
Water's hotter here than in the hostel.
Yeah. So now after this, we're going into Goma, and then we're going to head across to Bukavu and Kisangani. What things do you think we should expect traveling that way?
The only place that I think will be challenging for you is going south of Bukavu when you're trying to get to Kisangani. So like some parts of there would have like some rebels maybe, but the way I heard is everything is okay except if you got ambushed or something like that. Below Bukavu, that's the probability, I would say, maybe around 40%, you don't know. Because, I mean, you can never rule out the possibility.
The children of the neighbouring village flocked to see us, greeting us with a traditional Rwandan song written by two rappers a year earlier.
We just got a shot with all these kids and just gave them $5 so they can all get some sugarcane. I don't know, it's so touching, but it's nice. Of course, now they're all fighting over the sugarcane.
This is the Congo-Nile Trail, which basically goes along the Congo-Nile Divide. It's a mountain range that stretches here from Lake Kivu. On one side, where we are now, all the water ends up going into the Congo River and out into the Atlantic. On the other side, like where we were in Kigali, the water flows down and ultimately into the Nile and into the Mediterranean. So we're in the kind of like the border between two worlds now, and this is why Livingstone and Stanley weren't able to find the source of the Nile. They thought it connected, they didn't count on this mountain range.
As you see, Rwanda is a beautiful country, a country with 1,000 hills.
We're going to the border with the DRC. We got a bit more paperwork this time, so hopefully it should be a mere formality.
Quietly confident about getting in?
I can't see why we wouldn't. I mean, now we've done everything the correct way. We tried doing it the underhanded way, but now it's just the correct way, right?
We've got some paperwork. We don't have visas, but apparently the paperwork will get us our visas, so...
We've paid for the visas. In fact, I've been charged twice for the visas.
As long as we're on the list, we should be fine. It's just like a nightclub, the Congo.
Not on the list.
Hopefully they'll let Pete go in while I wait at the door.
So we finally made it. We are going to get our visa to get into the Congo. We just have to now line up. It's a bit of a line to get our exit stamp from Rwanda, but then we're going to go through this barrier and we're going to be in the Congo for proper. Our host met us at the border in a UN vehicle, which is pretty cool. He's taken us back to his house. He's letting us stay as long as we want, so we're very flattered by his help. Now he's actually gone to do some shopping in the market over here, and we're checking out the town a little. It's a bit, it's very frontier. Goma has been an epicenter for natural and humanitarian disaster. The streets still covered in dried lava from Nyiragongo volcano, while hundreds of thousands of refugees have fled along them in recent years.
3-3-1-1.
Definitely a occupied town.
There's a lot of barbed wire, there's a lot of UN peacekeepers around, and there's a lot of UN staff.
We're trying to do as much subtle filming as we can because we're getting a lot of advice that we'll get arrested for shooting on the streets. So the roads in the Congo are not exactly even up to Rwandan standard, which makes me a little anxious to get to Kisangani. Not only have we been told that it's like this the whole way, but now we need to go north through a place called Beni, which even the UN have marked as a red zone, a do not go, and they consider Goma to be a green zone.
We're in a really beautiful place, and I can see why the gorillas like to hang out here. We've employed a porter for $10 for the day. Pete was against it, but giving some guy $10 and he's carrying our gear. I think it's a win-win situation. So we have an armed escort as well. We have a guy at the front with an AK-47, and it looks like a guy at the back with an AK-47. And I don't know if that's for the gorillas or the gorillas. Jumbo. Well, I've just been walking through the farms and lowlands below the volcano, and we finally entered the canopy, and it is a lot cooler here.
Yeah. Some genuine off the beaten track now.
We've had to put on our masks to stop infectious diseases that are carried by humans being given to gorillas.
We got a silverback and a blackback just a few meters from us. They're massive. They're absolutely huge. This is one of less than 1,000 gorillas that it's left on the entire planet. About a quarter of them are all in this national park.
It's quite an amazing experience being this close to them there. They're very human-like.
Behind me here is the Nyiragongo volcano. It's got the largest lava lake in the world, and he is going to actually climb up to the top of it tomorrow while I stay back and do some admin work here.
Our friend Adolphe tried to charge us $130 for a taxi to the volcano today. When I told the guys, they were like, $130? You can get to Kigali for $80, just 3 hours away. Anyway, for $5, like getting a motorbike all the way there. It's not the safest way to travel, but it sure is cheap. Just starting our trek up the volcano. I think there's more porters than there are hikers. This is my favorite way to travel, walking. It's certainly the most pleasant. And I guess it's the way that Mr. Stanley came through. Hair's getting a little thin, but not too bad. It's this uphill that's really annoying. Well, here we are at the top of Mount Nyiragongo in the Congo. As you can see, there's a massive lava lake behind me, spewing up this beautiful golden red lava. It's very mesmerizing and hypnotic. I could stay up here all night, except it's absolutely freezing. My hands are about to fall off.
Before leaving Goma, we went to an orphanage. The children there due to conflict and disease, and because the Congo is the rape capital of the world, with an estimated 400,000 cases a year.
Well, you definitely need a four-wheel drive in Goma. This is the main road through town.
So they have these local scooter things here called chukadoos. They're like made of wood, very organic, very Bondi hipster. Apparently they can handle 2 tons of weight though. So they use them for transporting everything around, beds, bananas, families, everything. We tracked down a former UN employee to talk about the situation in his country.
All the rebel movement, they start from this town here, Goma.
Why do you think that is? It's
because of these borders, and I know from Mobutu rebels, Rwanda and Uganda, they used to play the game. Yeah.
You think it is a game for them?
Yeah, this is their business, because without these army groups, they think they will never survive, because they organize this thing to sell their weapons. Yeah, they are selling weapons. That is the business here.
Somebody said that if we went to Beni now on the bus, they thought that there was an 80% chance that we would get kidnapped. Do you think that's true?
Sure, because everyone is looking for money, and then you may be their business.
But it's a dangerous region?
Yeah, it's very dangerous. Those days, it's too bad. It's too bad for you. This is an advice. Don't take the risk. Maybe take an aeroplane.
With almost certain kidnapping awaiting in the north, we opted for risking ambush in the south, crossing Lake Kivu to Bukavu and the start of the long road to Kisangani.
Heading off to Bukavu. It's apparently a couple of hours away. Pretty fast boat, similar to the one we caught down the Amazon. We've disembarked in Bukavu, and this place seems a little bit more crazy than Goma, if that's possible. I mean, there's a lot less AK-47s around. There's a lot more people. I don't know, it feels like we've entered an ant's nest.
I think people aren't scared to go out here, so that's why it seems so much crazier. In Goma, everyone's a little scared to go on the streets.
Especially the UN workers.
Be careful, this is a place you have to be careful.
Okay.
Visiting the slums of Bukavu with a local pastor, we met with an AIDS sufferer who shared about the stigma of living with the disease.
Ase tulimuloga ule bimkubwa juu tulikuwa babibi mbili kwa ile nyumba moja. Ase tulimupatia sumu, tulimuloga, kumbe yeye ndio alienda leta akatuachia.
I don't have a house myself.
I used to make some houses like this in the back of my house.
Oh, okay.
I got in trouble for it though.
People are tired. We need change. Change from international NGOs. Change for how UN taking Congo. Change for our government. Even change for our friends in Congolese mind. But what I know about Congolese are friendly. Congolese are not want to see other suffering. That is a normal Congolese. Congolese doesn't want a war.
This is a school, primary school, to talk to the children about peace, about reconciliation, for build the future community, because we need to have a strong community in Congo.
It's really important that you remember that you are the future of Africa and you can make this a great continent. So here's the price list of things you can get done in the surgery. See here's sutures, $3. Means I got ripped off in Tanzania when I had to pay all of $5 US for these. I mean here for $5 US I could get the tip cut off. Despite conflicting advice, reaching Kisangani from Bukavu was impossible.
We're running a little behind schedule, so we're heading back to Goma, catch a plane to Kisangani. Well, I think we're finally leaving Goma. We're on our way to the airport.
We're off to Stanleyville, Kisangani, the place that Henry Morton Stanley founded, the furthest you can go up the river. Plane's about an hour late so far. I think it might be like the buses, they only leave when it's full.
Wish us luck. This could be the most dangerous part of the trip.
They don't let these planes fly in Europe because they're too dangerous.
Thank you for the flight here. We shall have a good flight. Thank you.
Our decision to fly was tragically vindicated by 9 murders on the road outside Beni that day. Hey, we made it to Kisangani. We survived.
I'm surprised they haven't changed all the names. I mean, do they really need a Lake Victoria?
Well, they can't change that. Jesus. They can't change that because it's international waters.
Boot doesn't close. Heading to the boat, see if there's a barge going to Kinshasa today or in the next week. Just told me not to take photos because of the policeman, but I think we'll be okay.
We're trying to get a barge down to Kinshasa. We've been told that maybe we can do it in 9 days, which would be really excellent because we've probably only got about 8 days to do it.
Sorting out the barge was actually a lot quicker than sorting out paying for having illegally taken photos at the port. That turned out to be a big issue.
Here we are at the Congo, one of the mighty rivers of the world, matched only by things like the Amazon and the Nile and maybe Parramatta River. So they sat us down and we did all this backward and forwards and they looked at the photos. Fortunately, I had only taken 2 photos on my camera, so that was easy just to delete. They didn't really cotton on to the fact that we'd filmed a bunch in the port on his phone, so we got away with that. And in the end, all they wanted was $10 beer money.
He says, if the loading is okay, while they leave and they go straight to Kinshasa.
And how long?
Probably 10, 11 days.
10, 11 days, yeah.
It leaves on Tuesday?
Tuesday, or except.
Maybe not.
Maybe, we are in Congo.
One of the problems is we're going to run out of time. We have to leave in about 2.5 weeks from Kinshasa. So we're like, okay, we need to make sure that we'll get there in time.
So apparently there's a boat which might be leaving on Tuesday, but as he explained, we're in the Congo, so that could mean next Tuesday or the Tuesday after. But
10 or 11 days, that's not bad though.
But they have said if we're interested, we can stay on the boat for free until the boat leaves. Well, I guess you'll be staying on the boat then, Pete.
Yeah, Garnet's not interested. I'll be staying on the couch in his air-conditioned room.
I'm quite happy with my $100 a night room in Le Chalet. Just on our way to the fishing village, Kisangani. Motorbikes cost us $1,000 a pop, $1. Got to give $10 to the chief of the village so we can see the fishermen in action. Hospital, church and bar in one. It's all happening over there. They got something for everybody on a Sunday.
So stretching 100 kilometres behind me is a series of 7 cataracts that makes this part of the river unnavigable. From here, you can go all the way by boat down to Kinshasa, which we're going to do in a couple of days, and fingers crossed it'll only take a couple of weeks because we need to get back to Australia.
I spoke to a girl this morning who said it's going to take at least a month because the river's down. Welcome to my lovely studio apartment in Kisangani. It's very nice, and at $100 a night, it's a bargain. Peter's staying in a place that's $68 a night, and it is a shambles compared to this. For the extra $32, you get room service, widescreen TV, couch, lounge area, bed with 4-post mosquito net, and a lovely bathroom with a high-pressure shower. Anyway, I'm off to go and get my hair cut across the road. Nobody speaks English there, but I think we should be able to get a decent haircut. And then I'm going to go around the corner and get my hair plaited. Don't cut above here, yeah? Ask for the dictator, and I really think they've nailed it.
The saga continues. Looks like the boat's not going to leave tonight, not going to leave tomorrow. Apparently it's not leaving till Friday, which makes it impossible for us to get to our plane in time to get home, let alone to finish the rest of the trip going to the Atlantic.
But our good man John has found another boat which apparently leaves Wednesday. Just need to find out how long it's going to take.
Yeah, let me introduce myself. I'm John. I'm tourist guide in Kisangani City. I was born in 27 December 1958.
1958?
Yeah.
You're ancient. You're like 60 almost.
Almost 60 years.
Ah, but you're very young.
Yeah.
And fit.
Really?
Strong.
Yeah, I'm strong.
Are you a grandfather yet? No.
Yeah, of course.
You are a grandfather.
So what about you?
Me? I'm 43. I'm not a grandfather yet. I'm not a father yet.
Yeah, young boys.
Yeah, young boys.
His name is Rosette.
26 ans.
26.
Yes,
she rejoices to stay in
loves
Kisangani.
Yeah.
namuna kake tozala biso na kimia me mbongo nde ezala te bosoki aza nani ayokaki mbongo ezala nango ate.
It's normal for a guy to get a haircut like this?
Like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never see any guy, no. I never see. Do you like another wife?
Me? I'm already divorced.
Some people say
That Australia is in Europe.
it's not in Europe. Why are you laughing?
And you think Mobutu was better than Kabila?
When Mobutu still alive,
There was more tourists.
more tourists, a lot of tourists.
Yeah.
And the country was very, very quiet. But they also find that Mobutu was very bad.
Yeah.
They were stealing people much.
Yeah. We're on the way to Kisangani Zoo.
We're on about day 5 of being stuck in Kisangani. Thought we'd come and hang out with some chimpanzees. They're not looking super happy about being caged, not quite as happy as the gorillas in Virunga. Even the chimps are a little staggered about what Garnet's done to his head. It's been getting plenty of attention on the road, which is great. It's what we really want as 2 white dudes crossing Africa, just getting that little bit more attention. Well, we're in the middle of some serious Colonel Kurtz-like jungle here in Kisangani. This is the inner station. It's a little hot, a little wet. But I'm slightly concerned because one of the symptoms of oncoming malaria is actually excessive sweating.
I went to see Captain and they're like, when are we off? When are we going, boss? He's like, Sunday.
So anyway, this is day 7 of our makeshift prison in Kisangani.
It's a nice prison, though. I mean,
you're in the $100 room. I'm currently staying on the couch.
you'd probably be more comfortable on the boat, to be honest.
We're on board the dangerously named Express. Apparently it's going to go tomorrow morning. This is the Congo River that you see here. We're going to drift that way for 1,000 kilometers and get a little bit closer to our destination, a little bit closer to home.
Anyway, it's kind of interesting to be out from the hotel. It feels like we were in a bit of a cocoon there. We weren't really experiencing Congo life in all its grandeur. But now I can safely say that we are.
So I brought this little bottle of rum on board. It's, rum is every sailor's drink. They dream of big adventures like rounding the Cape or going down the Amazon, or like we're doing right now, going down the Congo. So got a bit of rum to keep me warm on these unnecessarily warm nights.
I said no alcohol, Pete.
Yeah, and I assessed your request and gave it the value it was worth.
as squalid as our living conditions are, we still have that kind of experience of being on a boat. We've got a little porthole out over the river. You can see what's happening on the banks. I can see why people like travelling on boats. I personally do not like travelling on boats.
I can't believe we're actually moving. There's no way we're going to get to our destination on time, so I'm not sure how we're going to cross that bridge. But away we go!
With the rest of the barge initially uncomfortable with our presence, we kept a low profile as we edged along the river Stanley first charted.
Just going to purchase a chair. First they wanted $7 for it, but we've bargained them down to $5. So first day on the boat, and giving it 2 thumbs up.
Nothing was more important on the boat than the constant procession of preparing meals. We stuck to the more conservative options, but there was a lot more available.
I'm gonna try my first safu. It looks a little bit like me.
It's good for you.
Warm, just strange. Wow! It's like sour custard made with turned milk.
Anyway, we're 2 days into our journey and we're about another 2 days away from the first place we can catch a plane, which is probably where we'll need to catch a plane just to get to our destination in time.
About as far from power lines and safe running water as you can get, we turn to the sun and a water filter to keep us going.
Well, as the sun sets on the mighty Congo River, we're stuck in the middle of it. We've been here for about 3 or 4 hours now. The barges aren't moving. We just sort of kind of just ran aground a little bit, but it was enough to lodge us for a good few hours. And I think we're about to call it quits and lay down for the night, which means we could be at it all day again tomorrow.
Well, it's 5:30 a.m. day 4 on the river, and there's a lot of commotion. Someone's very distraught. There's some collective singing. We're guessing that maybe a child has passed away during the night or has fallen into the river.
Well, there's a lot of things that have woken us up first thing in the morning in the last few days, but this is probably the most harrowing of them. Because all you can hear now is people singing, people crying, or people praying, and in this context, I don't think that's a positive thing.
Well, we finally managed to dislodge the boats this morning, the barges, and we're on our way. Now we're going a lot slower. We don't want to get stuck again.
Okay, so we're going to take you on a little bit of a tour around the boat as long as we can get away with it. This is our room, let's go check it out.
There's about 500 people crammed onto these 6 barges in one boat. You can see them around me in all their glory. Okay.
Good morning, how are you? Good, thank you.
So we've got about 6 canoes trying to embark on the barge, selling plantain bananas and some type of sweet potato.
Okay, so now I'm in control of the lives of about 500 people, which is a bad idea.
Okay, Sarah.
This is the luxurious top deck of our cruise ship, P&O Icha Hideout.
And you can see we're completely surrounded by lush jungle, rainforest. I imagine there's all sorts of animals living amongst it. A lot of them are being eaten on the boat.
Life on the boat becomes its own world. Villagers rowing out to trade their goods, travellers passing their time any way they can.
That's Boomba! They can't hold us back now, we're gonna make it.
This barge has been
without doubt the craziest and the best thing we've done on our trip. We got taken in by the captain's family. The mama cooked us food and really looked after us. They've even offered us one of their daughters to take back to Australia.
Being here is about as isolated as an Australian could possibly be.
Strangely, we still felt at home.
Yeah, that was actually for me the weirdest thing, is that no internet, no phone, 500 strangers speaking Lingala, Swahili and petit peu de French, and we actually just fit in and got along.
Here we are in Boomba.
This is where we find ourselves for a couple of nights, then tomorrow on the plane. We're already drawing a fair bit of attention. People haven't seen too many cameras around here.
I don't think they've seen that many Mzungu either.
No, because pretty much the entire town is staring at us right now. This is a weird little place. It's like the kind of village you expect to find on the shore of the Congo that just somehow accidentally got a little too big.
Well, it's been 5 days on the boat and we've managed to get to a town that has no electricity or running water. But to this town's credit, they have a beautiful large church.
As an indication of how isolated we are, we have to organise to catch 6 flights to get home in the next 6 days. Got to go back to Kisangani. It's ever since Bukavu, we've been having to go backwards to move forwards, like some Kafkaesque nightmare. Possibly due to its isolation, Boomba doesn't share the scars of Goma or Bukavu, nor suffer from the overhanded authority of Kisangani. Officials accepted we couldn't afford to pay a bribe and even gave us a lift to the airport.
I'm just at the airport in Boomba. We've run out of money.
As you can see, there's a dirt airstrip behind me. It had some goats on it before, and that's where we're going to be catching our first trip to Kisangani. Okay, so we managed to get on the plane. It's a little twin prop. To even get on, we had to borrow $10. They've got instructions for us here on the plane, but unfortunately it's all Greek to me. We're in the air. We got off the dirt with about 30 or 40 metres to spare, which is kind of good. Now looking out the window, you can see all the thousands of islands that make up the Congo River.
Well, what's absolutely remarkable is that what took 5 days to do on a barge, we've just done in half an hour on an aeroplane. We're back in Kisangani. We're in a taxi on the way back into town from the airport. We've got a couple of passengers in our car.
This is the gentleman that lent us the money to pay the tax. The only positive of returning before heading out again the next day was filming an off-limits monument. Here's a statue of Henry Morton Stanley. No one seems to know who he is. They don't even remember that this place was called Stanleyville.
We're in a taxi on the way to the airport. Our good friends the doctors went earlier today because they had a flight booked for Monday and they were hoping to change it to Friday. And I asked them to check to see if we were on the flights for today, and they've written back and said that we're actually on Monday as well, which is a bit of a problem because we actually leave Tuesday. So we're on our way to the airport now for what I imagine will be a lengthy fight.
I guess this is a problem with the handwritten ticket on paper in quintuplet that doesn't quite work. So this is the plane we should be on. They found space for us. We spoke to the captain. He managed to find a space. But now apparently, because our names weren't on the manifest, they're not going to let us go on because it would breach their insurance.
You said you would get... 1 minute. You said...
I don't like our chances of getting on.
Well, we didn't get on the plane. It's not the end of the world, but it's pretty close to it.
Do you know any good hotels in Kisangani?
I think we can leave on Monday?
Yeah, sure.
You said that before though.
Yeah.
I was objectioning a little bit because they wanted to buy 2 monkeys and I thought they were $15 each, and I'm like, oh, I feel a bit bad about this, so I'm happy to contribute $10 if you chip in $5. So I gave them $10, and then turns out we got 2 monkeys for $10.
Oh my God! You see what it looks like? That's the worst thing ever. We decided to make the most of our extra days in the heart of darkness, touring the town, visiting villages and getting on the river. It's been hard to get out of Kisangani. We've been denied at the plane. We tried going down the river, so we've taken matters into our own hands.
Thank you. Whoa.
We're trying to search for a monkey hunter who's going to take us into the jungle where we join them on a traditional monkey hunt. This isn't a game, they actually kill them
and
then
eat
eat them. Only 1,700 kilometres to go. We didn't realise it at the time, but we were actually involved in the world's first slow-speed pursuit in a canoe. We've been getting hassled by a DGM official who's told us we're not allowed to take photos anywhere. So if you just follow me around, we'll get a photo of him in the background. This guy, he wanted passports, he wanted to see our visa, none of that stuff we have with us. Really, we both know that he wants $10. The palm wine flowed, but despite Garnett's insistence and my vices, I passed. I don't want to get sick now, we're 3 days from going home.
It's the perfect time to get sick. Pete's about to do the most dangerous thing I've seen him do. Drink some local water.
How's that Ebola tang? Those kids are out of control.
Just walking through the village, trying to find some access to the jungle so we can go monkey hunting. Doesn't seem to be very accessible, but we have attracted a large swarm of children.
As was the case throughout our trip, the greatest acceptance came from the children, the innocents, the forgotten in Goma and Bukavu, the unknown on the boat, in Bumba and here in Kisangani. I've made an army of child soldiers. We're taking over.
Viva la revolution!
Finally, we headed to the airport, though we didn't know that trip would nearly cost our lives.
Through tear gas.
We reached the airport, only later finding out that 2 people had been killed in that moment and 6 others shot. We've made it on the plane. It looks like we're finally going to take off. It's actually been about 2.5 weeks that we've been trying to get from Kisangani to Kinshasa.
Very close now. We made it to Kinshasa. Who would have thought? It's our last day in the Congo. We're heading to the museum to check out the statue of Henry Morton Stanley. We finally made it to Kinshasa. It wasn't easy. It took about 2 weeks to just get out of Kisangani.
Finished the journey. Here's the big man, Henry Morton Stanley, behind us. Sadly, for the majority of the history of this country, it's been about exploitation of outsiders, taking advantage of those that are local. It's a place with so much potential. It's a place where the people are lovely, but it's a place where there's so much need purely because of a lack of infrastructure.
It looks like we're being given
told
a timeout.
to stop.
So
No,
they probably want us to stop filming.
Got to go?
Okay.
Okay, we're out of here.
Merci beaucoup.
No worries. Thank you.
Your life's difficult, that's typical. But you give, karma is reciprocal. I don't critical of people on my nuts. Got to wine crippled, but they're stuck up in the ruts. Quick to make a fuss, let a bust in the bubbles. So this is my rebuttal too, we like it when it's trouble.